Hi, this is Peter. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Cane Pole. Since it's storming quite a bit today, and we've had some other things going on, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some set lines for use at the club. Set lines or bank lines are a way of tying out a piece of line with a fish hook on it and catch catfish, mainly is what they're there for. You can also catch gar and other non-game species. At least in South Carolina, you can't keep a game species on it. Now, in some instances, set lines will be a 5-foot piece of line dangling off a tree with no weight at all. What I'm going to make is I'm going to make throw lines out where I'm going to have a weight on it and I'm going to throw it out like you've seen me use my Coke bottle, only I'm going to tie them to something on the bank and leave them overnight. I'm also going to use smaller hooks than what I'd use if I was after bigger catfish. The club only has bullhead catfish, and bullhead catfish will eat brim eggs, they'll eat bass eggs, they'll also eat fry of these species. So we kind of want to cut them down. We'll never get them all out of there because they're very prolific. And plus, I've heard bullheads are pretty good to eat from people in other locations. I've had them here in South Carolina. Generally, we catch them out of muddy water. They don't taste, muddy water in the swamps, they don't taste so good. But given that fish from the club taste a good bit better than fish from other places I've had here locally, I'm going to give them a try. Alright, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making bank lines for small catfish. You need yourself some tarred bank line. I got this at Walmart. It's nothing special. It actually feels better than other bank line I've gotten at Walmart before. It actually feels sticky. It doesn't normally feel sticky. What I did was I got myself some small Eagle Claw hooks. These right here are O'Shaughnessy hooks. I really like circle hooks. The problem is on the smaller sizes, which I'm going to be using for these smaller catfish, you can't find them to have a big enough eye to get your bank line through. Well, I can't find them locally. I'm sure you can find them. These are 1/0 O'Shaughnessy strip or live bait for saltwater 40 count hooks. They will rust. They're just nickel coated. And then for this particular application, I'm using some 1-ounce bank sinkers. I did run out of 1-ounce bank sinkers, so a couple of them are going to have pyramid sinkers on them. And of course, I've already made one up using these to hold them so they wrap up nice. Now, what I'm going to do, sometimes you would use a 5-foot piece, say if you're fishing a river or something, keeping a bait close to the surface. Sometimes you wouldn't use weights. Sometimes you use a little longer piece. What I'm going to go with is 21-ish feet. I say 21-ish. I'm going to go 2-3 poles, which is 6 foot between my arms, and then I'm going to go about 3 more feet, 21-ish feet. I'll also have a lighter to seal off your nylon bank line. And all you do is you take yourself a pull of line. That's 6 foot. Of course, not everybody's reach is going to be the same. I know mine's right at 6 foot. It's 12 foot. $18. About half that. 3 more is 21. In the end, it's probably going to be about 20 foot or less of actual useful bank line. Now I've got it dug down under my table. All I'm going to do is singe my line, but I have to do this because the ceiling fan's going. Now, it's simple enough. And I do a fisherman's knot. At least that's what I know it as. I've not hung up on knots. Look up knots yourself, whatever you want to do. I have about that much tag, about a foot or so, a little bit over. And then I just take and twist it. Lost it. That's 4, 5. You can do 5 to 6 times. That's throwing 6 there. I open the little part of the loop here down here by the hook. Got to open that a little bit. It's a little bit more difficult with this tarred bank line than it would be monofilament. This is a knot that you can use with monofilament. I could just tie it with a bowline, could just tie it with an overhand knot. I just like this knot a little bit better. If I can get it through here. Dang it. Always have problems doing something on camera. There we go. Okay. Then to tighten it, you take and you pull this down. Moving the coils a little bit. Careful that you don't pull the hook into yourself. And this doesn't tighten quite as well as it would if you were doing it in monofilament, but you end up with a knot like that sitting on top of your hook. Now, with experience, I've learned to ride my hook where it will ride pulley knot if I'd have the weight. I'll show you perhaps how to do that here in a minute. And then to tie the bank sticker on, I do a simple surgeon's knot. With another hitch above it. It's nothing special. And there you go. It's about a foot above the bank line. It's actually going to lay more like that, maybe even lay on bottom. But this gives you some weight to throw it out from the bank. And all I do is I hook that over my little wooden things I used to use for keeping my rigs on. Then I just wind my line on. And this end hadn't been singed yet. Sometimes I remember to do it, sometimes I don't. Just singe and melt it. Let it cool. Wrap it on there. And I'm using little pieces of inner tube to go over the whole thing. I've got to work it on there to hold everything together and keep it from unraveling. That way when I get to the water I pull the inner tube off. It's easy to unwrap. Now, I did say I would show y'all how to do that hook point to where it's up. When I tie my knot, your knot may not be the same. I take my hook and I run it through. This is what's going to go on the weight. So this is all my long line. And when I take it, keeping in mind that this is the one that's the long line, I twist. It doesn't matter really either direction, but I just always generally take the hook point forward. And when I stop and run this through, the hook is pointed down. Okay? That's just how I do this one. This works. I have not tried this size hook on bullhead. I did this last year at the club. Got a few bullhead using circle hooks. Bullhead's having a small mouth. I figured these will work just fine. They would work on a trot line as well. I may eventually do a trot line video. Okay. We'll make up 10 of these. I've got some more of the holders here in the box. We'll just have 10 set out. I'm going to probably get a piece of, catch a brim or two, cut them up. I may go just get cut bait I don't know yet exactly what I'm going to do as far as bait goes. I know I don't want to use live worms, and I'm not using live minnows or anything because that would take bass or brim would eat off the worms. I will take the camera along and I will video me using these. I don't know, depending on how long this video is, it may be a two-parter. I may just do this as one part and then fishing them as another part. I may throw it all together. Alright, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Alright, I'm going to be making these bank lines to throw them out at a good distance. So what you need here is you need yourself some bank line, which this is tarred bank line from Walmart, nothing expensive. You need some fish hooks, of course. Okay, I'm going to be making these bank lines for Hi, this is Peter. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Cane Pole. Today it's obvious we're in my office and the dogs just hit the camera.